Hello everyone, Time to Grind here, and today I wanted to talk about Monster Train. And Monster Train is one of the best roguelite games I have played in a while. It's a deck building roguelite similar to Slay the Spire, but it is so unique and so crazy good. But before I get into that, I do want to give a small disclaimer. I was given a review copy of the game in order to make a review for it. I never let that affect my reviews though, and you can take my last video about Crucible as an example, but let's just get into it. So Monster Train is a deck builder roguelite game like Slay the Spire, but the main difference is you're driving a train that has 3 different levels. So instead of just playing cards that, buff your character or use moves, you can actually place units down and they have their own health and damage and different mechanics on top of being able to play spells as well. And so in the train, there's 3 lanes, and the first turn, a bunch of enemies come in from the bottom of the train, and you have to play your monsters to stop them moving up the train. And once you end your turn, all the enemies attack, and then all of your monsters attack, so they do have to survive the enemy's attack if they want to, attack as well. And if one of your units dies, it doesn't go to your discard, it's out of the game for that round. So, obviously when your next encounter, you'll have it back, but they don't keep going back in your discard. And once everyone is done fighting, the surviving enemies actually move up a floor and more come into the bottom floor. And they keep doing this until they get to your pyre room. And when they get to your pyre room, they attack your pyre and then the pyre attacks them. And they keep doing that until either they die or you die and you lose the run. And so you keep playing units and buffing and healing units and playing damaging spells and, throwing down totems or sacrificing creatures or whatever awesome mechanics and synergies this game has until either a mini-boss or a boss arrives, depending on what kind of floor you're on. And they come in at the bottom just like normal units, and they keep attacking until they die or the enemy, your monsters die. So instead of just keep moving up the floor after one attack, they keep attacking until either all of your monsters are dead or they're dead, and then they keep doing that until they get to the pyre. And once you clear, the entire area, it brings you to like a fork in the railway, and both sides can have random different, locations to go to. So you could have things that allow you to recruit new powerful units or gain artifacts or remove cards from your deck or have a random event or go to a shop to upgrade your cards. And I want to talk about the shop for a little bit because it is so cool how upgrading cards with the shop works in this game. So every card in the game can be upgraded twice, and there's a spell shop and a unit shop. And so the cards almost have these gem slots, and so if you go say just to the spell shop, you can buy these different upgrades like making a card cost 1 mana less or making it more powerful or having some really special effects. Like if you play it, it just keeps going back to the top of your deck no matter how many times you play it. And so there's varying prices and stuff like that. And then there's a unit shop that works the same. There's cheap upgrades like just health or attack bonuses, but also super special ones that cost a lot of money that allow your units to attack an additional time or even before the enemies attack. And at all the shops you can re-roll once to either allow you to buy more things or just buy different things. And then you can keep paying to remove cards from your deck permanently. And the random events in this game are super freaking awesome as well. And I honestly think that they are more fun and unique than Slay the Spire. And there are really cool events that allow you to say take a unit or a spell that just you keep getting more permanent copies of it by using it. And then once you get a certain amount of them, he comes back and upgrades them all and actually makes it worth your while. Or something that just allows you to duplicate a specific card 5 times. So if you have a card that you upgraded a ton, it's just the events in this game are all really unique, and there's not as many feel bad events like in Slay the Spire. I think most of the time you're pretty happy about it, and I really like the random events in this game. You also keep upgrading your champion slowly over time in 2 different, there's technically 3 different pathways you can upgrade your champion and, get different combinations of that. And so now I want to talk about the champions and the actual different classes or monster clans as this game calls it. And so there's 5 different clans, and each time you play a game, you actually choose 2 different clans to make up your deck. So one clan is your primary clan and the other is your allied clan. So each clan has a common card card that you get a couple copies of in your starting deck, and if you depending on which one you choose as your primary clan, you actually get that champion, that clan's champion, if you chose them as your primary clan. And so each game you're playing a mix of 2 different classes, and that opens up some insane synergies and just different strategies. So instead of playing like 3 classes in Slay the Spire, or 4 of now, you get to play with technically 24 different deck combinations. And the 5 clans in this game are all super freaking fun and unique from each other, and every single clan has like several different archetypes and mechanics and stuff like that. So the first clan is Hellhorned, and they have like big units, and they can buff and give armor and make them rage up or attack multiple times. And they also have like these imps, which is kind of a cool mechanic, and these small 1 mana units that do a bunch of different things when you summon them, like giving you extra energy or dealing damage to enemies. And there's also a lot of support spells and unique cards to help do some other cool things. The next clan is Awoken, and they have big tanky units that you can heal in a lot of different ways, and you can give them spikes to hurt attackers and defend like these really weak but powerful like multi-attackers. They can also do a lot of these things with like these things called like thorns that are like free spells that deal damage and you gain energy. The next clan is like Stygian Guard, and they focus a lot on spells and just dealing damage and increasing the amount of spell damage you do, so much so where you can just stack a bunch of spell weakness on like a boss and then just insta-kill them with 1 spell, and that's a really cool like kind of deck to do with them. They also have Frostbite, which is almost like Poison and Slay the Spire. It's just kind of like ice themed. The next clan is Umbra, and this is actually a really cool and unique one. Umbra is about these little creatures you can create with spells or other creatures called morsels, and at the end of the turn they actually get sacrificed to get eaten to your front minion. And when they get eaten, they provide specific buffs like health and attack or damage shields depending on their rarity. And so certain units do special things when they eat units. Like there's this one card that permanently gets for the whole run extra damage per time it eats, and so you're just constantly feeding at the entire run. And the last clan is Melting Remnant, and this clan is also really cool. So it's mainly like an army of wax people that's a lot more unit based, and they all pretty much burn away and die after a couple turns. However, you have a lot of spells that can either increase the time on the field so they don't burn out as fast, or you can do these things that revive dead units and like buff it. So like one of the builds I did was you could just have an army of wax people that just keep dying, and then there's like a creature that you can gain gold every time one dies. Or you could have like a handful of smaller, really more powerful guys that just keep dying over and over, and you keep bringing them back and making them stronger and stronger. And so the main game is really fun, and all of the clans are really fun and unique and provide different ways to play. But what type of progression is there in this game? Because like I've said many times before, progression is one of the most make or break parts for roguelites, at least for me. And the progression in this game is one of the best progression systems I have seen in a roguelite ever. And so all of the progression can actually be found in the logbook, so I want to just kind of show that off to you and explain it all that way. So first of all, you level up your clans and unlock more cards and relics for that class, and eventually get them all like in Slay the Spire. You can also see which deck combinations you have won with, so you can try to beat the game with every combination. That's what I'm slowly trying to go for. There's also something like Ascensions in Slay the Spire, where if you beat the game, you can make it 1 level harder and over until you're up at Covenant rank 25, and there's a leaderboard with all your friends to see where you all stack up, and that's really cool. And also something that this game does that is super awesome is whenever you win a game with a clan on at least Covenant 1, you turn all of the cards that were in your deck golden on your account. So in future runs, if you see a golden card, that means you won with that card in your deck, and that's just really, really cool, and it's an awesome like idea. And so you can try to win with every card in the game, and it's just super cool to see the golden cards in your hand and deck, and to know because you earned it. And then there are your best win streaks depending on what your Covenant rank you are, and so there's just hundreds and hundreds of hours of gameplay and super satisfying progression baked into the game to always have you working towards something or some sort of achievement. And there's also achievements in the game as well. And the last thing, but definitely not least thing I want to talk about in this game is the multiplayer. So the roguelite deck builder it actually has a really insanely fun multiplayer mode called Hell Rush, and it has matchmaking, and you can also play with friends if you all queue at the same time. And what it is everyone gets the exact same seeded run, and you all try to compete to get the highest score. The thing is, though, is you have to go really fast because there's the timer, and if you run out of the time for the round, it auto-plays, and you can't play any card to just, auto-plays the game, and a lot of the times that will make you lose. And then, if you beat the thing before the round time is over, you have to wait for everybody else. So you're all constantly in the same kind of area, but it's really cool to be able to see what other people are doing. It tells you when someone beats a boss. You can see each other's trains on the rails, what stores you are at, or if you're fighting people. And there's a scoreboard on the left. There's emotes in the game. It's a very social game, and honestly, I expect myself to be playing hundreds of hours just in the multiplayer mode, let alone the single player mode. There's also daily challenges as well with random modifiers and global leaderboards, and you can also design and share your own challenges with other people with really cool and in-depth challenges. The art style in this game is really, really amazing. All the cards are kind of slightly animated, just like the golden cards in Hearthstone. Obviously, they're a little less polished, but that is to be expected. It's not some AAA title, multi-billion-dollar, game like Hearthstone, but they still look really, really good. And when you're fighting on the train, there's actual animations and GFX and the fire and stuff, and it looks really cool, and it pairs great with the units and the card art. And the soundtrack is actually surprisingly really catchy and good. It's very orchestraic, and if that's a word, and it's really good. And just overall, this game is easily one of the best deck builder games I've ever played, one of the best roguelite games I've ever played, or even one of the best card games I have played in a long, long time. And normally when I review a game, I just play them for, a while and make a review for it and then put it down so I can review more games. But I see myself sinking at least 100 hours into this game within the next couple of months. I've already spent 16 hours in it, so I would highly, highly, highly recommend Monster Train. And I don't really have any complaints about it at all. It's not in early access. It is a fully launched game with a ton of content, and honestly, I love it to death. So if you enjoyed Slay the Spire, or if you love deck builders or roguelites, you need to pick this up. This is a must buy. You need to get it now. So if you have played this game, or just from watching, I would love to know your guys' thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments down below. I love trying to respond to all of you guys and just love talking with you. And if you enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like and subscribing to see more content. I make 2 video reviews a week just on a wide variety of games, so subscribe to stay tuned for that. And if you guys are having a great day today, I hope you continue having a great day. If you guys aren't having a great day, I hope you guys start having a great day. But either way, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. See you guys next time.